Just please let me know whether it is visible to you. This PDF is visible, is it?
No,
No,
sir,
sir.
not yet.
Sir.
Okay,
Yeah, sir, it's visible
thank you.
now.
Okay, okay. So can you tell me what happened yesterday? Those who are in the lectures. Any one of you?
Sir, ma'am took the revision.
None?
Ma'am took the revision for moment of inertia.
Okay. Uh, but I have done that flywheel derivation, right? Yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, correct. So we have discussed the flywheel system and also obtained an equation for the MI of flywheel, and that we written about the axis, about its own axis and perpendicular to its plane. So that's axis passing through its center and perpendicular to its plane. So the equation you are get it the same as for the disk, but over here the moment of inertia of the axle is added. Okay. So can you write down this mi of flywheel whole wheel when you are writing the moment of inertia of the whole wheel? So so it is a mi of the that wheel part, as well as the you need to add the mi of the axle part. So the total mi of the wheel plus axle is actually the moment of inertia of whole flywheel. So we calculated yesterday that value for the wheel part is a half of m r square plus r square. That because annular portion we removed. Okay, but we need to add that value also to get the m of the whole wheel plus axle, the complete body. So that wheel has external radius, has like radius is a small r. So the moment of inertia, it is like the system which is a disk of that is similar to the disk, okay, of radius smaller. So half of mr square is the moment of inertia for the axle part, right? And half of m, capital M, into r square plus small r square, that will be the moment of inertia for the wheel part. Now you can ask me this capital M with the mass of the wheel part, and small m is the mass for the axle part. So hope you are getting this. The derivation yesterday we discussed about the flywheel system, right? Can you?
Excuse me, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but this is my first lecture today. I just got admission day before yesterday for the college. So
Okay.
I just don't know what topic is going on right now.
Yes, yes, no problem. Just now you are in the class, so you can find there are the classmates also. They will definitely help you. I will help you, no issue. I will send resending all those materials. Okay, the official WhatsApp group or an official group you have. Okay, so just take those materials what we have circulated till the date. And if you want to have some questions regarding that, we can discuss. Okay, or you can write email to me. You can find the email address over here also. Okay, the same I can send on your WhatsApp group, no problem. Okay, you can just later discuss if some questions you have in your mind, because we are going to almost done this chapter. But I know there are certain issues people, so I can take a revision on one lecture, what we have done, what we have completed in the lecture, that we will discuss later. But okay, right now you just follow the things and quickly adopt yeah, what going on in the classroom. But it's the first unit that we are going to discuss.
Okay,
And
sir.
hope,
Thank you.
okay, okay. So I'll just move forward, and yesterday I talked about there is one derivation also which we need to take about to find the moment of inertia of the flywheel. So in your screen, you can see yesterday I discussed about there is one experiment you can do in the laboratory about this flywheel, and we need to derive the formula for the moment of inertia for such a flywheel in terms of the quantities that we are going to take in a measurements of the moment of inertia for that particular experiment. So here, what we are going to do in this particular experiment, a small hoop that at the end of the small piece of the fine cord is we need to wound around the axle. It's just like, you know, a thread attached with the pan, and weight we need to put it in a pan, and connected that wound around the axle of the wheel. So just like, you know, you apply certain weight to the one end of the or you say weight you are applying through spiral turns of the axle. I mean, this is just providing the wounding around complete axle. So just like axle wound around the other, just like you put a weight on the pan and you apply the force by putting the weight in a pan. Okay, this is the things you are actually doing in the experiment. So at the time of experiment, you will understand what you are going to do, but this is the theoretical way. How can we put the formula of this particular experiment that we are doing for this moment for finding the moment of inertia flywheel? Okay. So it is just like I just mentioned over here, the length of the card is wound evenly around the axle, and suitable mass that we need to put it suspended at its free end. And you just hanging that so that it will not just near to the ground, not just touching the ground. Okay. So whatever be the number of turns, okay, that you put it around the axle, that you just have that numbers are in even numbers. That experimentally we need to do. So here what we are going to do actually we are applying a force, but that force is in terms of a torque. That's the force acting on that you know, circular loop of the thread that you are wounding around an axle. So just in the derivation part over here, I'm going to tell you what which are the terms to be involved over here in the measurements of the moment of inertia. So I'm going to write down first the couple, that is a moment of force. And you know that since you are putting the, you know, a weight in a pan, okay, this is the tension acting on the cord, because this is the thread which is wounding around an axle. And but when we are applying the force, I mean to say put in the weight, that's a weight into the gravity, acceleration to the gravity, that's a tension which is acting on the that particular cord which is wound around an axle. Now r is the radius of the axle. So the radius of the axle and the thread that you wound around the axle, which remains same because it you tightly wound around the axle. Okay. So this is the couple. When you are saying couple, the moment of force. So it is just whatever be the force with which that the weight multiplied by the gravity, that force that you say T is equal to mg, that's the tension acting on the circular what we say radius of the axle, or the radius of your that what we say cord that is wounding around the axle. So it is similarly the that radius will be the same as the radius of the your thread. Okay, I mean to say that one turn, second turn, third turn, okay, they are just having the same radius. So you are getting my point what exactly we are doing. So this is the radius of the axle, which is same as the couple is acting on that particular radius of that part, which is same as the radius of the axle, multiply by the tension, that is a mg force over there, that gives you the moment of force. We called it as a couple over there. So therefore, the moment of inertia we am writing for the flywheel about the axis of rotation, and d omega by dt is the angular acceleration produced in it. So how can you analog this quantity? So you just have a definition of the angular acceleration. Yesterday we defined that moment of inertia into the angular acceleration, which is nothing but a moment. Hello. Uh, So I into d omega by dt, which this I into d omega by dt is the actually the that is moment of force that we called as a torque, and torque that we write it in a equation that is mg, that is a tension multiplied by that radius. So force is over here is a tension and r is your radius of the axis. So we are understanding how we analog this quantity. That means the moment, the force, angular acceleration you are getting. Yesterday we defined, okay, there's the quantity we are getting. So that moment of force we are expressing. The moment of force we called as a torque, that we express as I d omega by dt, and that we are equivalently write as a t into r. So hope you are understanding what the equation I am just writing over here. I d omega dt is equal to tr. Now the equation, that's the same thing, the downward force due to the weight of the mass, and when it has no acceleration, I mean to say you just hanging and the body is at rest, no acceleration. So only force which is acting is what? The mg force over there, mass into gravity. But when it is in accelerating, means when it is rotating, the acceleration, the force will be how much? Am I audible there? Am I audible there or something is lost?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you
Just a minute. Yeah, yeah. Just a minute. Just a minute. There was some disconnection. Okay, 1 minute. So what I'm going to explain over here, this particular force, which we called as a force due to the due to this mass mg, okay, and this force will be a, I mean to say, when you have a certain put a weight, so it has a acceleration, vertical acceleration, that has a value a, okay, and that mass into a, I mean to say that acceleration will be how much? That will be a mg minus t. Now you can ask me how this quantity will be written over here. So this is a force we are balancing. This force, we say that the force which accelerate the system, that is ma force, and the mass into a gravity, that's a tension value over there. That is what you say mg minus t. So t is equal to mg m. Hence you can write down t is equal to mg minus a over there, right? So that tension value is not only mg, that particular ma force you need to minus it from the system, because the vertical acceleration act on the system and the t, the tension, they are the in opposite direction. So it's just like mg minus ma. So m is common, g minus a. Hope you are understanding this, how this equation has written over there. So I d omega dt will be a m into g minus a times r. How this comes? Because you just put the value of t over here in the expression of I d omega by dt. So getting, so I d omega dt will be a t times r. So t times r means m times g minus a times r. So that's the quantity you have. So d omega by dt, that a by r you are getting. How you are writing this d omega dt is a by r. Again, remember that that's acceleration. If you want to write down the linear acceleration is r times the angular acceleration. So r times the rate of change of angular velocity you can write down. So this way you can express your value of a in terms of, I mean, linear acceleration, a value you can express in terms of angular acceleration. So since you can write down a is equal to r d omega by dt, so d omega by dt you can write down as a by r, and you just put replace this d omega by dt with a by r. So your equation is becomes I times a by r is equal to m times g minus a r. So sorry, I'm not writing this equation, but you are understanding what how these equations are coming over here. So I is equal to, then you can write down the mr square. How this square becomes, because this r on the left hand side goes to the right hand side, becomes a square, and then you have a mr square, and the numerator on the other side goes to the denominator, so g minus a by a. And you just common it out, g by a you have to just divide it by a on the other side. So the question that means mr square g minus a minus 1, you can write it over there. So this is the quantity you get it for the moment of inertia. You express in terms of acceleration of the gravity and the force which is acting on that particular thread cord, you say. Okay, and that when it is in motion, when you are putting the weight in the pan. So the time interval between the release of mass, I mean to say, when you say put a mass, and when you put a mass and when you release, that there is a motion of the wheel, and you are wounding that thread around the axle. But when you are putting the weight, they are unwound, okay, and they will completely unwound means they will release after a certain time when you put the weight. So that's the time you need to record over here, the time interval between the release of mass and the slipping of the cord from the axis, that you need to carefully note it. And this value is taken as a small t, and let the distance through which it falls down during the interval, that you need to take as a small s or capital S here. And this is the mass which is start from the rest, because initially the body is in the rest. When you put a weight to the pan, then body starts motion. You have to start the stopwatch when it starts the motion, and those threads you are wounding around that axle, that completely slip of the axle, and your completely pan will be released and get it fall down on the ground. That time you need to record. So that's the distance. You say how much is the distance you have from the ground. That distance you need to record also. The distance through which the mass falls down during the interval. So that distance you need to measure from the ground to the where is exactly the pan. Okay, when it is in the rest position, that distance is important. That distance is s over here, and is a half of at square. So we use the s is equal to ut plus half of at square, that equation over here, the linear equation of the displacement and the time. And that a you express in terms of twice s by t square here by the rearrangement of those equations. So here a is an acceleration, that value is expressed in terms of time and distance, that comes out to be a twice s by t square. And but we need to put that value of this acceleration here in the expression of your moment of inertia. So moment of inertia becomes mr square g upon twice s by t square minus 1. And a value can just rearrange to get the value of the expression as a mr square into bracket gt square by twice. So t square in the denominator, in the denominator on the reciprocal side, that will goes to the numerator and becomes a gt square upon twice s minus 1. So here this moment of inertia we express for that flywheel in terms of an experimental finding. Okay, so these are the parameters on which the moment of inertia is depends, and that those quantities you can express I mean to say, the equation you have changed in terms of the parameters, that the experimental parameters you have. So this is the expression, and we use this expression in that particular experiment, where we knows the g is a constant acceleration due to gravity. Its value is 980 centimeter per second square. T is a time I mentioned, the time when the cord starts moving, and when it is just detaching from the axle. And that s is the distance from which position you just hang that pan, okay, to the axle. So that distance from the ground you need to measure. So this quantity, once you know, you can calculate the moment of inertia of the flywheel. So this is the simplest experiment you can do in the laboratory. So I know still we are not online, but hopefully people will be there and do this experiment in online mode also, offline mode also. Okay. So yeah, just a minute. I'll just check if there is any question. Okay, if there is any questions, you can just let me know. Is it visible, this Excel? Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. So I want to tell you there is another method for doing the same experiment again to determine the moment of inertia of the flywheel. Here we need to do some kind of measurements that we need to express in terms of the energy measurements, and we need to use the law of conservation of energy to derive an expression for that moment of inertia. So how we can do that? Uh, the way we can just apply those principles and try to write those equation in terms of those energies expression. So here I'm talking about the another method the which you can also express the equation for the moment of inertia, and that I want to discuss here because this may be the another formula that you are going to use in our laboratory. So this theoretical expression need to be understood because directly you are doing in a lab and you don't know what the logic behind doing this particular derivation. But the theoretical part we can discuss over here. So like I mentioned, the same thing, you need to put a weight in a pan and those mass, that weight you say mass into a mg, the weight, but the weight you are put it, that's a mass falls through a certain distance. So I mentioned the potential energy loss by the system. So when you have a pan from the ground, okay, hang, so what the potential energy? You just mgh, that's the potential energy it has. So mass into gravity into the height at which you keep your weight over there or the mass over there. So mass mg, tension, that's mg multiplied by the distance. So mgh, that potential energy. So over here h is replaced by s over there. S is the distance from the ground. Omega is the angular velocity of the wheel at the time, and kinetic energy is gained by the system. That wheel is half of I omega square. This is the kinetic energy. Sorry, omega is angular velocity, so we say that it's a rotational energy acquired by the system. The kinetic energy acquired by the mass will be the half of mv square. Okay, that mass is in motion and it's is in the motion, means it's a linear velocity. Sorry, kinetic energy, translational kinetic energy you want to write down. That's the value is half of mv square, the velocity with which that it is descending through the distance s over there. And I mentioned this flywheel you connect it to the axle and it has a freely moving, so that there is a very less force of friction, but that we need to do the work against that friction. So that force, sorry, that energy, that work we need to add it over there, and that work is done against the friction is added over there in the system. So it is like a potential energy you need to conserve in a terms of these three values. One is the rotational energy of the wheel, another is the translational kinetic energy of that mass, and the third quantity which comes across here, the work done against the friction. Okay. So hope you are understanding the law of conservation of energy we are going to use over here, and what we need to do. So work against the friction that we need to calculate it in some certain finite value by considering all the things are ideal in nature. So I mentioned that's a rotational, or you say kinetic energy of the wheel. It's actually the provide rotation to that wheel. So it's a half of I omega square. That's the energy, and this energy is needed, okay, to overcoming the frictional forces acting on the bearing, small bearings over there in the to get free movement or that. So here we need to use the concept of that couple due to the friction, and we provide how much number of turns made by that wheel before coming to the rest. So you know you apply the torque couple on that whole wheel, and because it's rotating, because you apply the force, no, so that's what it's rotating. So couple is acting on the whole wheel, so it will rotating, but after certain time it will be a stop because of the friction and other things. So that is a work which is done against the friction. So that work you can calculate it in terms of this couple, and you write down this formula for work done is couple into angle. Now you can ask me what is this couple? This is a moment of force talking about, but which is acting on how much number of turns that particular flywheel is taking. So that's you say 2 pi n into c. Why this 2 pi n? Because this is the angle for one rotation. It's a 2 pi 360 degree, and that we need into in terms of the 2 pi value. So 2 pi into n into c will be the work done. Okay, so 2 pi is the angle, and the how much number of turns that we need to multiply. So 2 pi n, and then further we need to multiply by the couple I mentioned, force into the distance, I mean to say the radius of that whole wheel on which it is acting, that couple. So it's a moment of force, remember. So it's a, we just express that value of overcoming the rotational energy by the work of friction, and you just analog this quantity of rotational energy is equal to 2 pi nc, where 2 pi nc is half of I omega square. So c is equal to I omega square upon 4 pi. So please write down these equations. You require, you know, some of way understanding the logical, the equations you are putting over here. So couple, you put it in terms of the moment of inertia, and you put it in terms of the number of rotation done by this flywheel, right? Now you can ask me, this is the distance which is S over there, that particularly taking the system to detach from the system, just like mass you are hanging, okay, up to a certain distance. That's the distance I'm talking about, is a distance S from the ground. And the number of turns made by the wheel during the fall of the mass to the distance is how much? That distance is S upon 2 pi r. So why it is S upon 2 pi r? The distance divided by the circumference of the axle. So distance per unit, sorry, it's a, yeah, we need to calculate over here the number of turns made by the wheel during the fall. That is the that is nothing but a circumference of the thread that is wounded around the axle, that is 2 pi r, and you need to divide that value S divided by 2 pi r. That gives me the total angle turned through by the system. Sorry, this is the nothing but the number of turns made by that wheel. So number of turns made by that wheel is nothing but a distance divided by the circumference. So that quantity, again it is the 2 pi angle. Total angle will be 2 pi. Again that rotation is of 2 pi 360. So 2 pi we need to multiply with the S divided by 2 pi r, and that quantity comes out to be a S by r. So S by r is actually the number of turns made by the wheel during the fall of the mass to the distance S. Okay, to the distance S upon 2 pi r. So work done against the friction will be how much? Is equal to the C times S by r is equal to this quantity, which is C times I omega. C is equal to I omega square upon 4 pi n. So C times S by r means C times this I omega square upon 4 pi n, and also there is a divided by r, so r is in the denominator. So if you are writing those equations, then you can easily understand. Otherwise, if I am writing all those equations on the blackboard, it will be easy to understand. So it is difficult to write on the screen. Okay, it will take a time. So I'll just explain with the way the equations already written over here. The potential energy, I am going to write it over here, that mgh is equal to mgs is equal to half of I omega square. Rotational energy, that will half of mv square, translational kinetic energy of the mass, and this particularly the system, that work we calculated in terms of certain values. Okay, so finite, we do not neglect that values, and we put it that value in terms of by using the concept of moment of force couple and the number of turns made by that wheel, okay, during the fall of the mass. So you just write down all those equations and try to solve and get it the expression in terms of the I. So you just solve. This is the mathematics again. Please write down those equations, simplify those expressions, and put it the values and get it done. The value on the left hand side and the right hand side what we need over here for this particular expression. Again, I'm talking here the t is a time taken by the mass to fall through the certain distance. So average velocity is s by t, distance per unit time. Average velocity will be the initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. Final velocity, so you just say average velocity is s by t. So final velocity is just take the average of it. So you just divide, I mean to say the final velocity will be a twice of that quantity s by t. So v square becomes a 4 square divided by t square. Hope you are understanding what is written over here. The expression about the average velocity, that the distance taken per unit time, and that's as a distance per unit time. But distance, that's average velocity. You write that average velocity as a initial minus final. And now how it is comes twice s by t again. So you understand this is the final velocity I'm writing, considering the initial velocity is 0 over there. So that becomes a twice s by t. Hope you are understanding the equations, what is written on the screen, and try to write down those equations and get it done, solve those expressions, and comes to the very simplified way of putting this I on the LHS and all those values parameters you have for the expression on the RHS. Right? You got the value now, how much value which comes out to be here? Oh yeah, it's some you know, some mathematics and rearrangement of the equations we need to do and use the principles. So we will get the expression. So this particular expression I have been written over here, which I is equal to mr square gt square minus 2 divided by twice s 1 plus s upon 2 pi. So this is some way complicated, but look at here all those things will we need to consider. Okay, those frictional forces, all those mechanical things we need to understand, the forces, larger forces which plays a role, and they are they are playing a dominant role over here. So we need to consider the work done against the frictional forces also. So hope you are understanding how this equation comes. Again, if you see the earlier expression, this particular expression, which you are going to write it over here, this expression, which do not consider the force of frictional forces over here, but here in this particular expression, we use that force of friction, and we solve that expression in terms of, you know, by considering the force of friction also. So here I'll use that law of conservation of energy, that equation, and we put solve all those values in terms of the couple, and we further solve the values of the moment of inertia. Yeah.
Sir, Aditi Pratapwar is in the lobby. Please admit her.
You people cannot add her.
No, sir.
Just a minute. Are you added? I'm not getting any message here. Aditi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. So here I'm talking about, yeah, there are the alternative calculations and all those things, but okay, hope you understand the system, what we are going to study. This is the flywheel expression I'm discussed today, and yesterday also we discussed about the summarize the, it's just like a summary of the lecture. 2 lectures are like that. We need to define the moment of force torque in terms of the angular acceleration, and that we got a quantity, that moment of inertia we define, that's the moment of the whole body, actually torque acting on the whole body is I d omega by dt. That's the expression we have. So torque is I d omega by dt. This is the expression you have. Yesterday we derived, and yesterday we also talk about this particular wheel flywheel expression. and we solved to calculate the moment of inertia of such a wheel which is freely rotating around an axle, and that axle is supported with a ball bearing, and we have the formula that is R is the moment of inertia of the flywheel is mr square plus r square by 2 plus m small r square by 2. That small m is the mass of the axle and capital M is the mass of the wheel part, and that's the whole expressions we derived, like by considering the analogy what we did for disc part. Hope you are there, those peoples are there, they understand how understood actually how we, and we use our experimental part over here, and I mentioned this is the experiment you are going to do in the lab, but how this expression comes directly that you are going to use in the laboratory, there use that formulation, but that formulation how it comes, and that discussions we did today. But hopefully when you are doing actual experiment, that time you can just take a record of all those things in your mind and try to apply this concept and use this to find out, you know, the ways the methods been derived over there, and the expressions been changed by considering the work done against the frictions, and also we ultimately getting to know what the formula that's the moment of inertia of the flywheel, the system which depends on the all other the parameters that physically you are going to measure in the laboratory. So hope there are still certain questions in your mind. You can discuss with me. Otherwise, yeah, there are the 10 minutes. Please ask questions regarding the lectures going on. Okay, I know there are personal questions offline, online, everything are there, but we can discuss some physics part here. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody would like to contribute something or discuss? Are there any questions on this part? You can ask me. People, those who are joining late, I request all other classmates, the students, WhatsApp group, please join them in a group. Sometimes teachers are busy with their work. Okay, teachers are not teaching only the FYBSc physics; they are also taking other courses and practicals. So they are busy with certain things. So, such a new students, I request all other class students can help them to join the group, share the material, what we have discussed, what we, you know, uh, exchange like that. So you can do that. Yeah, there are the Sai Shinde and Karan Bobde. They can add. Anybody take the responsibility in the chat group? There are the two numbers. These people you can record that, and some of admins of that group can just. Who is the admin of that WhatsApp official group? Is anybody is here? There is the B and D division combined.
Sir, even I am not there in that group.
Okay, you just write down in that chat box. Okay, so I can help you. So still, we are online, and there is a B and D division as a combined. So I am basically the teacher of B division only. D division teacher is a different, and hope you will interact with her after your offline lectures later. Oh, somebody, Yash, has sent that link over here. Who is the admin of this group? Any student admin is here? Student admin?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Sir, Tanya.
Can
Sir
you
Krishna.
Krishna? So Tanya and Krishna, can you add these people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. You can write down in chat box also if somebody has not joined the group. Still, the things will be, you will get DeccanSociety.org's official email for exchanging these materials or, I mean to say, authentic Teams access, this Microsoft Teams access. Till the time you can just share all those things on the WhatsApp. The fast communication is a WhatsApp communication. Okay. Can we stop now or still you have some questions?
Sir, I have given my number in the chat box. So those who want to get added in the group can message me and I will directly add them.
Yes, yes, no problem. So Tanya is here. Please write to her, message to her, their numbers, division, whatever, okay, reference. And she is an admin, so she will add in that official group, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, if any question,
No, sir.
okay. Then I'll just stop the meeting. Bye for now.